I hit the unmute button, but it didn't quite unmute. Okay, there, it did unmute everything. All right.
I hate our episode title. And by hate, I mean I love it. It's so good.
I typed in evil Santa, and that's the picture I ended up with, and I was super happy about it.
Added the knife, or was it already there?
It was already there. I found.
What's that from?
It is okay. So, it's from an old movie that was called. Crap. I'm gonna have to find it.
I don't think that's what it was called.
Right. I'm gonna.
Shut up, Tim.
Evil Christmas is what I typed in. It wasn't Evil Santa. I typed in Evil Christmas. Oh.
I also have my tales of Santa Claus include tales of his prowess in warfare.
Did you know that is going to be the last time you're able to click that button?
Wait, what?
I have officially requested that Twitch end our affiliate program because we are restreaming on multiple platforms, and that is against Twitch's terms of service as an affiliate.
I can't get to your channel even. It's giving me 404.
That's changed from Skep Talk Live to Mass Historia Podcast.
Oh.
Yep. We're legit as shit now.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that was originally from a film called Christmas Evil.
Lol.
Right?
Wow.
And it's literally about an evil Santa running around with a fucking switchblade. It's fantastic. Whatever it is, I need it, right? So, taking a look, we are currently live on quite a few different things. There's another subscription. 16 months. We are live on Periscope.
HONK.
Honk.
What have you been?
We are live on Periscope, which means we're live on we're live on Twitter, right? So that means that if you go to the Mass Historia podcast on Twitter, you can see the live show there. We are live on Facebook, and there's a little bit of an issue there. We actually have 3 people watching on Facebook, and I'm super happy to have those people here. Facebook, they're actually watching it on my personal profile and not the Skep Talk Live profile, because the Skep Talk Live profile is mired in currently problems. The fact that I requested that we change to the Mass Historia Facebook page, and Facebook has decided that no, that's not okay, and I had to send a bunch of weird shit in, and yeah.
Huh.
It's real dumb.
So Facebook shit the bed again.
Zuckerberg has
Surprising
decided.
no one.
You got sucked.
Right? We are on YouTube on the Mass Historia page, which is technically still the Skep Talk Live page until I can find a way to change the URL. But we'll figure that out. We changed the display name. It currently shows that we're the Mass Historia YouTube page, but it doesn't actually have the same address. We are on a brand new streaming service that we've never been on before. We're on DLive, which is a Twitch type alternative that uses blockchain instead of using like bits or something like that. They've got their own crypto that the whole thing is running on. And then we are also still on Twitch.
Cool.
I did some research into a couple of other streaming platforms to take a look at, just so we could start hitting a broader audience, because broad audience is all I'm really looking for. I'm not really trying to make a ton of money with this. It'll make its own money once everybody realizes that the history that we cover is fucking dope. So, I looked at what I found out is essentially porn Twitch. So it is it's a website called Plex something. Let me find out what it was called again.
Grandpa, no.
Plex Storm, right? So Plex Storm is essentially Twitch with 0 rules. You can buy essentially what would be like the Twitch equivalency of bits, and you can give them to a streamer, and then that streamer will show you the D or whatever. Like, it's time.
DL on history.
Right? We are not on Plex Storm. That is not something we are doing.
Appreciate that. Tom, stop it. Stop it, Tom.
We could make some money making Tom do some dumb stuff.
We could.
All right. Okay. And with Restream.io, from what it looks like, I am seeing that we have chat from CanHas in Twitch, and that should be transcoded over to YouTube, and it'll say something like CanHas on Twitch says this, or something like that. So the Restream.io bot is going to be going crazy, having fun. But that's all the channel updates that we've got going on. How is the time been for you guys? And we've had a rough go of things this month getting a show together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holidays.
Damn
I
holidays.
am very pleased to be out of school.
And out of that robot class, my dude.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
no one finished the robot course?
Nope.
Right?
No one was
Really?
able. So there were 8 obstacles. No one got past the 7th. There was only, I think, 2 or 3 teams that even got to the 6th. Over half of the people in the competition didn't get over the first obstacle.
Damn.
Wow.
Robots are legit hard.
On a side note, because I figured we were probably going to talk about this at some point. This is my robot.
Oh.
I don't have. Okay, actually, I need to hang up and rejoin the call because my Skype froze.
Oh,
And I
neat.
want to
Okay.
see the robot.
Okay. Call
All
back.
right, we can wait.
We'll miss you. His picture's frozen until he calls back, so.
Right.
Yeah. There's so many decorations in the background of his
Right.
shot
Yeah,
there.
He
that
has
are
a very festive.
right? They're all very poignant to tonight's episode.
Right.
Robot.
Robot.
Nope. This was robot.
Cool. What was the 7th obstacle that murdered everyone?
The quote unquote funky bar.
Trying,
okay, I was
trying
thinking
to
it was in
glide
the
across the
drop.
bar.
The drop was the 6th. There was
Oh,
one
okay.
team that was able to get through the 6th.
Mm.
Okay.
But then the bar that you had to latch onto above your bot and then get across, no one was even able to get to the bar. Like, it was such the
Jeez.
ramps turned out to be way too much of a problem for people. Like, my bot wasn't able to make it past the 2nd obstacle because
Yeah.
I did not have the traction to get up the ramp.
Oh yeah. Were the ramps like dusty?
Basically, yes. They had never been cleaned. They were MDF particle board.
Oh my god.
And like, I've got rubber soft wheels on the back end of my bot, and I wasn't able to get up it.
Yeah.
Like, there was a specific set of tires,
Yeah.
wheels with tires on them, that all of the teams that were able to get up the 30-degree inclines, they all had those wheels in common. Like, they all had that
Oh,
specific
and it-
type of wheel.
And it was basically just kind of honestly luck of the draw. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were
That sucks.
expensive wheels. And she didn't bother telling my professor didn't bother telling anybody about this issue
It's because your professor was
beforehand.
Right.
Yeah. And so
You should have just put in gonna got one of those like cheap fucking like $10 drones, right? Like the cheap super duper drones, and put it inside your robot and had an eject button and just like
that was against the rules.
yeah, I should have done it
Oh.
anyway.
Right. Like, no, like, we're not only are we not allowed to quote unquote use drones, we're not allowed to have anything pre-built. Like, the wheels I bought for my rear axle, those were
Skirting
the rules a little bit.
Jeez.
It sounds like your instructor is against ingenuity.
No, she wanted ingenuity in that she wanted us to manufacture everything ourselves.
That is not ingenuity. Right.
Also, like, has she never heard of off-the-shelf manufacturing?
Right.
She was specifically not wanting us to do that.
Which I disagree with because, in my experience so far, having your designs meet off-the-shelf specs saves you so much time and work in
Well,
real projects.
keep in mind, this professor also teaches the manufacturing class.
Right. Yeah, but reinventing the wheel does not make an iPhone 12, you know?
Yeah.
Well, not only reinventing the wheel, but not even telling us how a wheel is supposed to work or the pitfalls of if you like. Yeah, no, this was an aura of self-discovery or a voyage of self-discovery this term because she didn't tell us much.
So, Tom,
but by the way,
Tom, how has your last few weeks been? Interesting, right? I see.
We talked about it. So for everybody listening, we talked about it a little bit before stream, but my car got broken into a few days ago, and a bunch of my tools got stolen. But honestly,
I said I was sorry.
Yeah. Oh. Tim, I'm coming for you, Tim. I'm gonna steal all my tools back from your car, and then break 2 of your windows.
That is the thing that gets me the most.
Oh, for real. I was like, okay, windows busted. This sucks. Why is there a second window broken? Why?
Right? You do realize that once entry has been gained, you have control over the rest of the vehicle. You can unlock the vehicle. Oh, we've got Megana in the Twitch chat. Mags, how are you doing? It's been quite a while since I've seen you. Excellent to see you again. Settle on in and learn about a little bit of the dark side of Christmas today. Oh man, I've got some shit
and some light stuff too.
Right.
Golden
I have some palette cleansers.
I've got golden cannonballs, and that is not a euphemism.
Excellent. I will tell you all about the Christmas spider.
I quit. And I hate you.
I also have a piece about a spider.
Excellent.
Why do you do this to me? Why do you both hate me so much? Has my week not been shit? Oh, hey, the person who actually loves me brought me a beer.
Oh, a beer fairy. I need a beer fairy.
Oh my god, fucking!
I have beer in my mini fridge right there. Oh my god!
One night
I was
since I started my new job and weed is legal here, and I'm in a job where I can smoke weed. I smoke a little bit of weed, and I smoked and was kind of baked, and I had some food but didn't have a fork. And I just remember I looked at Joy Marie and was like, shit, I gotta get up and go get a fork. And she just goes, honey, close your eyes. And I'm like, okay. And I hear just pitter patter, clank, 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 clank. And then there was a fork, and I just look at her, honestly blitzed out of my mind. And I'm just like, are you like Santa, but with a fork?
Wow.
I was like absolutely bewildered at this woman's ability to walk across our apartment.
Right. And we've got Phoenix Knight in the Twitch chat too. Phoenix Knight, how you doing? Phoenix Knight hates tool thieves.
Hey, hates what?
Tool thieves.
Tool thieves.
They're the worst.
Yeah, they're awful. Like,
yeah, I mean, as history has shown, there are 2 types of terrible thieves. One of them is horse thieves, right?
Yeah.
As we have discussed many times, that entire wars have been started over horse thievery. But
yeah,
tool thieves should be added to that list.
Yeah, at work across this past week, my coworkers have gone on a few like multi-minute rants about how there's a special circle of hell for tool thieves.
Right. That's like, oh man, it's like stealing a waitress's hands, right? Like,
right.
Yeah,
you're not only stealing somebody's items, you're stealing their job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You've taken what they need to be able to continue.
My DeWalt bag that had all my hand tools that's like, thankfully my hand tools that are the ones that like are the ones that I need to have my own sets of the most are also the cheapest. And like we have like work issue like copies of like my circle saw. We have the exact same model in the shop. My impact driver, same deal. But my hand tools in particular, they're not that valuable.
Right.
And I use them every day.
Right.
Yep. But so it goes.
Mags has asked, what's the top center screen thing? So we're doing a live recording of the podcast tonight. So when we go into on-air mode like this,
Now
Da-da-da-da.
that means that we are going to be doing our live recording of the show, and we won't actually be talking to chat very much as we're doing the actual, performance and talking and stuff. But then when we go to
at all.
when we go to
Unless
a
you
break,
crack us the fuck
right,
up.
it happens too, right? But if we end up going to break,
no longer recording.
we come back and then we start talking to everybody. Also, this is the first time we're doing our multicast over a whole bunch of different things as no longer Twitch affiliates. My bots aren't working right, so you will see the on-air and off-air commands hit the Twitch chat, but they don't do anything right now. I gotta refix all my bots because Restream.io is currently streaming this to everything all over, and the bots weren't configured for everything. We also have
Rhinoceros Rex.
Right.
Oh God,
I don't
he's
know.
here.
Yep. It says hi
hate him,
to
though.
Magrez.
I hate him.
Go
Go away.
Rhyme wants.
Go away. I don't love you.
Rhyme has asked if you would take off your pants. Right.
We are on some safe for work streaming networks.
Right. This
Or
isn't
channels. So
This isn't Plex Storm yet. When
yeah,
we get there.
Come find me on Plexstorm later.
Yet? No, please.
Right. Had some friends ask me if I was considering streaming to Pornhub, and I was. The only problem is that we don't have the ability to stream it via Restream.io, and it's just because why not? Right? Like,
Yeah, why not?
They allow you to stream whatever you want there.
Shit.
We are just trying to be.
I have
everywhere.
watched many movies on Pornhub that were not pornographic movies.
No, you don't get to finish that.
That's like I read the articles, like.
Yup.
Right. Okay. So let's get into today's show. We've got some pre-show things we've got to get started with. So first thing we got to do is we've got to get our times corrected and get ready for the recording. So
Indeed.
time.is, everybody got it open?
Getting there.
Getting there.
You have failed us
Got
for the
it.
last time, Tom.
Your Audacity set at the right.
Yep, already have Audacity open.
Excellent. All right, it is 20 after. We are going to hit the record button at 15 after
Clap at 20.
and clap at 20.
Okay.
So, what that means for everybody who doesn't know what the hell we just did, we are now all individually recording audio channels of our microphones that are much more sensitive than everything that is being done through Twitch. When I get all of these parts later, I will combine them and edit them into the finished product that you can find on Stitcher and Audacity, Spotify. Not Audacity. Audacity is the program I use for it. Fuck.
Correct.
Sorry. We're on Google Play. We're on iTunes. You can find all of that there. But now we all have a point that I can align all of our sounds with by using that clap.
Yep.
That
And the other thing for
what was the other podcast that you learned that trick from?
Friends at the Table.
Friends at the Table, right?
It's an actual play podcast that I'm very fond of.
Speaking of actual play podcasts, remember I was telling you guys about Plex Storm, right? Which is a Twitch alternative that has titty streamers and
Right.
you can actually just pay to see a dick or whatever. I'm not a Twitch affiliate anymore. I say dick. And they can get mad if they want to.
The forbidden word.
Right? The thing that I saw on their front page was a Dungeons and Dragons gaming group. It was a whole
Nice.
bunch of
Were
people.
they playing naked?
If you paid money, yes.
Oh wow. Huh.
If you tip, That is what happened.
If you tip, you get the tip.
Phoenix asks how many different chats we are following. As far as I know, it says that it is reading from Periscope. It is reading from Facebook. It is reading from DLive. Or it has full interface with DLive, Twitch, YouTube, and technically the Discord channel.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So if you go to our Discord and go and find the live show text channel, anything you say will get re-streamed, as far as I know, across everything.
Neat.
Yes, Restream bot is going through Discord currently.
Excellent. So Discord is posting a bunch?
Yes.
That's
cool.
That's awesome. Man, technology is fucking cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it's not only is it posting to Discord, it's doing it almost exactly at the same time it's posting to Twitch.
Nice.
Cool. The other thing with doing the separate audio channels that's really nice for the podcast is when, say, I laugh uproariously, because I do that a lot. Udo can dial just my volume down to make me at a reasonable volume so I don't overwhelm everything.
Consider not being so loud.
I try, okay? I'm actually better than I was when Joy Marie and I got together. I'm much better than I was then.
All right. So we haven't discussed the order of tonight. Usually I go last. I am totally fine with continuing to go last. But that means one of you two have to pick to go first.
Whatever's clever.
All right, Tim, you're going first.
Oh, okay. I was going to say we should rock, paper, scissors for it.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors for it.
All right. No. Do you do rock, paper, scissors, or rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
I was just about to ask, do you want to go on 3 or 4?
3. 3 is objectively correct.
Right.
All right.
Count
it out.
I got it.
Udo,
right?
Wait, shit. Latency makes this hard.
Yeah, but if you both have my latency, it'll work.
Okay.
Right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, I thought we were going on 3.
Wait. I thought we were reasonable people when you go on shoot.
Oh my god, I hate you. Jesus. Scum of the earth. You did that intentionally, you son of a bitch.
Right? Okay. We'll do it Tom's way and go incorrectly. All right?
Yeah, because I'm a doctor.
Okay. So, but are you a doctor of rock, paper, scissors? All right. Rock, paper, scissors. All right. So we've got Tom wins.
Okay, I think. Does that mean I go? Wait, shit. Does that
I don't know what that means.
We didn't establish.
We didn't establish shit.
Tom, you won. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right.
Okay, Tom's going first.
So we're gonna we'll do the standard intro. We'll get everything ready to go. JMG 2011 100 says this is another reason why Udo is bad besides hating curry. Yeah, curry tastes like dirt, so it's not like, not my fault.
Let's not go into all the reasons Udo is bad. We'll be here all damn night.
Also, Storm Steel, welcome.
Part of my story.
Oh, what's that?
We'll get into one as part of my Saint Nick story.
Excellent. All right. So we are going to get started. Just to let everybody know, remind everybody who is watching that while the on-air light is on, we won't be interacting with the chat. But you guys can try and, say things in the chat that fuck us up. And that's always fun for me to edit later, which, but we will be taking a break between each one of the sections of the show. And we will come back and we will hang out with the chat. So, yeah. Tim, are you ready?
Yes.
Tom, are you ready?
Very nearly. I am getting your live stream and sharing it to my Facebook.
Excellent.
There we go. All right, now I am ready.
Excellent. All right. So we are going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now recording.
I'm not prepared to say the intro thing. Fuck, I'm at the wrong spot. All right,
Good job.
here we go. Edit that part out, future Udo. This is a content warning. This is an educational show. We're covering historic events, stories, and mythology. If you have problems with things that actually happened in history and dislike talking about violence, nudity, and not very PC topics, you should go somewhere else. This isn't the show for you. With that said, welcome to Mass Historia. I am your host, Udo. And tonight, 'tis the season. Everybody, 'tis the season.
'Tis the season to...
It is the
I need you to do
season.
the entire Carol of the Bells like that sometime too.
Maybe.
I need that as a ringtone. Tim just giving it a.
Oh my God.
But it is the holiday season, as will anger some people and delight others. Also known as the Christmas season or the Hanukkah season or
Christmas.
There's all it could be the Krampus season.
Solstice.
Right, solstice, often referred to as the Yule time.
Yep.
Just to establish some ground rules, Tim, what do you prefer, or what do you celebrate at this time? Do you?
I guess. Well, yeah.
Stuff.
My family has celebrated Christmas, for a very, very long time.
Right.
Both of my parents were Christian, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, none of their children at this point, my siblings, really none of us are religious. So at this point, we basically celebrate time of the year where the family comes together and hangs out.
Mm.
Like we don't really do gifts anymore. We get together, we eat a prime rib, we hang out, we play games. It's an excuse to get the family together.
Yeah.
How about you, Dr. Tom?
I celebrate stuff.
You don't really celebrate stuff?
No, I said I celebrate stuff.
Oh, okay. You just celebrate whatever.
I mean, well, I do have a Christmas tree in frame.
Right.
No lie.
Right.
The tree of old is back.
Right.
My wife is sighing heavily at me.
The question
She
is how
loves
long is that
Christmas.
Christmas tree going to stay up?
Yeah. March.
Yes.
She nodded in agreement. Yeah, March. Yeah, no, we do Christmas. We also do some solstice stuff.
Nice.
Pretty much just like, hey, it's a nice time of year to tell people you love them.
Hell yeah. To just lay out where I'm sitting. When I was growing up, I found out that Christmas had something to do with Christianity and Jesus and stuff like that when I was like 15. My grandfather used to, and this was my favorite part about my grandfather, every different holiday that had some sort of mascot, we would set traps to try to catch them.
That's amazing.
So my grandpa used to go, like, those little traps where you make a rope circle and you stake it to the ground with a bent over tree.
A standard rope snare.
That's where the cookies and milk went. And we would.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, he would try to set traps for the Easter Bunny. And
hunting rabbits.
Yeah, it was the best. I had no idea that it had anything to do. So Christmas to me while I was growing up was about Santa.
It was about hunting, man.
Right?
Well, and that's basically what Christmas is nowadays to most Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Most Americans at this point aren't celebrating the birth of Jesus or whatever. They're celebrating Santa Day.
Right.
Oh yeah, actually the real magic of the winter holidays is eggnog. It's eggnog season.
Ugh. So I totally forgot to do it.
Wait, who hates eggnog?
I hate eggnog.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Just give me the rum.
Why not both?
Because you don't have to put milk in your fucking rum.
I am beside myself with disappointment.
You'll get over it.
At the
Right?
culinary travesty that is your mouth.
I can deal with your disappointment, for it is small and petty.
So I had an idea for a new Christmas decoration for my house this year, and I'm working on it. So I bought some new skeletons right after Halloween, right?
Skeleton.
Right? And they're full-bodied skeletons. And I'm going to bring one home, and I'm going to get some happy birthday decorations, right? And I'm going to build a little crucifix with the skeleton and put a little hat on it and make a happy birthday Jesus hanging thing on and then we can celebrate Jesus's birthday, and then I will go viral on Twitter with anger. People will be very mad.
Oh my god.
But it is surprise Yule time quiz time. Are you guys ready?
I am.
Right?
I love quiz time, Yule time.
Before we get into the story that Tom has for us, I've got a really quick one and a quiz for you guys. So first off,
Okay.
in the classic story of Frosty the Snowman, and this question is going to be for Tom. What were
Okay.
his arms made out of?
Sticks?
No, that's way too simple. That's way too obvious.
It's snow. His
Yeah.
arms were made of snow. He just had snow arms that popped out of his body.
Oh my god, he was like fucking Vector Man. Did you ever play Vector
I
Man?
fucking love Vector Man.
That is the deepest cut.
Tim, how about Frosty's nose?
It wasn't a carrot.
Right?
I swear to
Was it a piece of coal, or was it just
swear
snow?
was.
With a corn cob pipe and a button nose. And 2 eyes made out of coal.
Oh.
Right?
Okay. So when you say button nose, do you mean like an actual like coat button?
It was just a button.
Okay.
Right? And the big thing being that a lot of people think that he had stick arms and a carrot nose. That's why.
Yeah.
Now here,
Also, which Frosty are we talking about?
the Frosty the Snowman that has a visual representation, which would be the cartoon. I think it was claymation.
No, it was cartoon.
Was a cartoon. Okay, yeah. So here's a hard one. What color are mistletoe berries? And this one's gonna go to Tom.
Red?
Well, let's give Tim a chance.
I think they're green.
So they're white.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember that now.
All of the things that you see when you see mistletoe with red berries, that's holly,
Yeah, that's Holly.
right?
Oh.
Right. And this one is a one for Tim because he might actually have this answer. I don't know if this would be up Tom's alley at all. But do you know what the date of the 12th night of Christmas is?
Oh, crap. Oh, I think this is January 7th.
Real close. It is January 5th.
Okay.
But
Okay.
a lot of people seem to think that the 12th day of Christmas is
Is
Christmas, and it is
Yeah,
not. And
Wait,
finally,
is Christmas the first day of Christmas, or is the day
No.
after Christmas?
it's like to the 19th. Like we're like
Yeah.
this is like the second day of Christmas right now. Or I guess it would be the 19th. It's like the first day of Christmas is like Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's the 24th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
This one goes to Tom. What the fuck is tinsel for?
Being a pain in the shit to clean up.
Right?
When you say what is it for, do you mean what is the origins of, or what do you do with it?
What is the point of having tinsel on your tree?
Okay.
So,
To be sparkly?
right? It turns out that it should be something that you hate.
Damn it, Udo! All
Wait,
right,
what?
I'll remove that from my fucking stream.
Oh, sorry.
What?
So the origin of tinsel. I'm going to read you guys an
Tinsel?
old story. Yeah. There was once a widow who lived in a cramped old hut.
Is this going to be a limerick?
Maybe.
No.
She lived with her children there, and outside of their home, they had a tall pine tree. From that tree dropped a single pine cone. They began to grow and live in the soil. The children,
That's what they do.
right? The children were excited of the prospect of having a Christmas tree. So they tended to it. They ensured that it would be able to grow and become strong and be able to be pulled into the house when Christmas time came along, and they could have something because they were a destitute family. Unfortunately, the family was so poor that even though they had a Christmas tree, they couldn't afford to decorate it with ornaments for Christmas. And so on Christmas Eve, the widow and their children went to bed knowing that they'd have a bare Christmas tree in the morning. The spiders of the hut heard the sobs of the children and their sad cries, and decided amongst them that they would not leave that Christmas tree bare. So the spiders created beautiful webbings on the Christmas tree, decorating it with elegance and beautiful silky patterns. When the children woke up on Christmas morning, they were jumping for excitement. They went to their mother and woke her up and said, "Mother, you have to come see the Christmas tree. It is so beautiful." As the mother woke and stood in front of the tree, they were truly amazed at the sight that laid before their eyes. One of the children opened up the window to allow the sun to shine in. The sun slid along the floor and slowly glid up the Christmas tree and onto the webs. As the rays of sun shone onto the tree, the webs turned into glittering silver and gold
You were gonna say
color.
burst into flame and killed all the spiders, and then everyone lived happily ever after,
Right.
except the spiders.
Making the Christmas tree dazzle and sparkle with magical
That's cool.
twinkle. From that day forward, the widow never felt poor, and instead she always was grateful for the wonderful gifts she had in life. So, tinsel is used to recreate the magic of this story.
So
Go ahead.
the one piece that Udo didn't cover, this is from the Ukraine.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a Ukrainian folk story. And in certain versions of this story, Jesus walks in and literally turns the spider webs into silver and gold so that these people won't actually be poor anymore.
Wait, was Jesus a spider?
No. But there were spiders, and the spiders are right. So
Spider Jesus.
so the spiders are essentially a Christmas spider is a legitimate decoration. And if you you can go find incredibly ornate gold and silver Christmas spiders to put in your trees. Or you can do
God,
what
I
they
Googled it, and I
traditionally
hate
do and put actual spiders in their trees. I mean, JM's going to have to step up, go get some spiders for the tree.
Yep, get on this.
Honey, if you ever decorate our tree with spiders, I'm killing you in your sleep.
Right?
I love my wife. Lines must be drawn.
Also, in 1950, tinsel resurged in popularity. It was almost completely forgotten because originally tinsel was just extruded pieces of actual silver, but silver tarnishes like instantly if you don't pay attention to it. In the 1950s,
Watch that shit nonstop.
they came back because Christmas lights in the 1950s caused a shit ton of fires. So
because they didn't know how to insulate properly electrical
it
appliances
was
yet.
just bare copper wire right across
Yeah,
the
pretty much.
So that is the history of tinsel. I thought we'd start that
hate
off
it
tonight,
so
right? Thanks, I hate it.
Yes, exactly. Like, I was almost ready to be like, oh, that's cute. That involves spiders, and that's actually sweet. And then I Googled Christmas spider and wanted to vomit immediately.
All right, so Tom, I think I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay.
For what you've brought tonight.
Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about Santa Claus, Saint Nick, Father Christmas, Santa, Sinterklaas. I know the two of you both definitely know about the Jolly Man in Red, and I imagine basically anybody hearing me talk does, but his origins are fun. Modern Santa Claus as we know him, grew out of traditions around the historical Saint Nicholas, the British figure of Father Christmas, and the Dutch Sinterklaas, who was also based on Saint Nicholas. So I'll just be talking about good Saint Nick, and
Sinterklaas.
maybe I'll do Father Christmas next year.
Hmm.
But yeah, so historically verifiable records of Saint Nicholas's life are basically non-existent. He was believed to have been born in the late 3rd century. I found 2070 in the Greek seaport of Patara in what is modern day the southern coast of Turkey to wealthy Christian parents. Part of the reason historical records of his life just don't exist at all is that it was a very turbulent time in the Roman Empire.
And it was 2000 BC.
No, 2070 AD rather.
Oh, okay.
Not BC at all. Yeah.
2070. That's like in 50 years.
Or not 2070, brother, 270. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
Okay.
I did the worst.
I was like, I heard 2070. I'm like, oh, that must be BC because it hasn't happened yet in 80.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. He was believed to have been born in the late 3rd century AD in 270.
Okay.
There we go.
Still, not a lot of documentation going on at that time.
Yeah, it was a really turbulent time in the Roman Empire. It was around the time of the Tetrarchy, and as the Roman Empire was splitting into the Eastern and Western empires, and papyrus and parchment really don't like modern paper is still a relatively fragile medium. It is way sturdier than parchment or papyrus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So records had to be recopied constantly, and if you forgot for a few decades, bye records.
Right.
And so the records of his historical life have been lost over the eons. With the earliest complete account that has survived to the present was written in about the early 9th century, which is like 500 or 600 years after he was certainly dead.
Mm-hmm.
But by about the 6th century, a millennium and a half ago, his mythos was already running pretty strong, and some decently wild stuff has been attributed to him over the years. So one of the more tame and common of his exploits was generally just giving money to the poor. He just kind of wandered around and said, "Hey, you're broke. That sucks. Here's a little something to help," which is, by my reckoning, pretty goddamn cool.
Do they ever cover where he's getting all his money from?
I think it was basically a wealthy inheritance, and then he lived a fairly austere life, as I understand it.
Well, and
Okay.
I'm guessing if he was already living, if he was born to wealthy parents, that means he had basically serfs underneath him. He had people that looked to him for lordship.
They're
So
called
he was getting
elves.
basic. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh. But yeah, so in the most famous story of his gift giving, he came across a once wealthy, now poor man who, by one tale I found, had been robbed of his wealth by the envy and scheming of Satan.
Sorry about that.
And he had 3 daughters for whom he could not afford dowries. And just for context, if anybody out there doesn't know what dowries are, it was a practice where the parents of brides basically bribed their grooms' families. I don't get it. Why? I don't know. Weird misogynistic patriarchal garbage, I assume.
Well, I mean, if you'd like a little bit of a historical backdrop there, I could give you
is there
some.
actual reason?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So, if you are a female in medieval times, you are technically worth a lot less to a family because one, you are like the inheritance of the father's side of the family or the family that you're marrying into, right? They're gonna split up the properties that they have when the elderly die amongst the sons. So there is only going to be property going that direction, right?
Okay.
So to get your daughter to now be part of what's going to receive part of that inheritance split, you need to say, hey, it's worth it and also political ties, right? If you have a family that's a little bit more somebody who's strong in the community, you would want to bribe your way into their family. It is technically a bribe.
I'm going to double down on weird misogynistic patriarchal garbage.
I mean, you're not wrong. But there is reasons that it in the system that they had created.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so not being able to bribe them into marrying his daughters back then meant pretty much that they'd more or less like about the only available profession was the oldest profession. They'd have to become prostitutes.
Or marry beneath their station, quote unquote.
Yeah. So Saint Nick was passing by, and to save the family from the horrors of misogynistic patriarchal garbage, just started hucking money. He just started chucking bags of money. Well, okay, depending on who you ask, either bags of gold or literally spheres of gold through their like second story window at night so they could afford dowries.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on which version of the story you read, on the third night, the father stayed up all night to find the dude throwing cannonballs of gold into his house and caught Saint Nick gold-handed and fell to his knees weeping in gratitude. But Saint Nick swore him to secrecy about it.
Thanks for pelting me with really heavy shit.
Really valuable stuff. No,
you broke my skull. Thank you so much.
Like, given some of the art I've seen of this, holy shit, Saint Nick was swole. The spheres of gold in some of the art, they're like 4 inches, 10 centimeters in diameter.
So shot
make
puts.
Them weigh like, yes, they're like, I looked up the density of gold and ran the math. They'd be about 25 pounds or 11 kilos a pop.
Oh, goodness.
And this dude is just shot putting them through the second story window.
Wow.
So yeah, Saint Nick was the patron saint of children, mercenary women, and I suppose gym rats.
Right. That is, I mean, bring back that tradition. I would not be against some old man, some yoked old man with a beard coming up and throwing a gold, orb through my window.
Break the window. I could get hit.
Smashy. Like,
yeah. So his most famous that was his most famous I'd say non-supernatural act. He was just a rich guy who gave out money and was apparently swole as fuck. His most famous act of miraculous magic involved barrels, naked children, and some powerful necromancy. During a really, really awful famine, an evil and wicked butcher lured 3 little kids to his house, chopped them up, and put their remains in a barrel to cure so he could sell them as ham. And Saint Nick, itinerant helper of the poor and noted swolebro, immediately knew the butcher was lying and resurrected the pickled children by making the sign of the cross over them.
Fucking pickled children.
Now, how he knew the difference between ham and Udo's favorite dish, we will never know, but I have my suspicions. Is Santa Claus a cannibal? Who knows? Just saying. Just asking questions. But anyway, regardless, even in spite of the really honestly just bizarro morbidity of the story, it became incredibly popular throughout the late middle and early modern ages, and there's so much art of it, and it's so goddamned weird. My favorite, it's just this dude in white garb and a bishop hat with his hand out over 3 naked children who are standing in a barrel praying. It's so fucking weird without context. But the popularity of the art of the miracle has led to people think he wasn't originally supposed to be the patron saint of children.
Right.
But for obvious reasons has become, and has also, because of the barrel, become the patron saint of brewers. All around, he is attributed as the patron saint of children, coopers, barrel makers, which makes a little more sense to me than brewers, mercenary women, sailors, fishermen, merchants, broadcasters. I tried to figure out what the fuck a broadcaster was in like ye olden times. I imagine like criers who delivered.
It probably
news.
wasn't in ye olden times.
Oh, fair. But yeah, the falsely accused repentant thieves, brewers, pharmacists, archers, pawnbrokers, and students in various countries around Europe. He really, really just got around as far as activities, I guess.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's honestly, I'm a little short today.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, that's all I've got. But yeah, just remember, Santa Claus isn't a jolly old fat guy. He's a jolly old ripped as fuck guy who will bombard your house with cannonballs of gold, like the world's wealthiest living artillery piece if you piss him off.
Right, and sniff out your pickled children. All right, so when we come back, we've got a story from Tim, but we're going to have a word from our sponsors.
No longer recording.
All right.
Wait, we're sponsored?
I mean, I'm going to make up some shit. Just like, I mean, for the last like 20 episodes, I've been making up shit and shoving it in the middle of those breaks. Like,
Right.
about how you should, like, I mean, we could take this moment for a second and say,
Yeah, like kidnap your friends, tie them up in a chair, and force them to watch our stream.
yeah, no, in fact, I made one like that. There was one about
We should make a fictional pickled children company.
right. One of the episodes has there's like I made a little bit. It sounded like a cult worshiping in the background as I start talking about podcastulon or whatever.
That one.
Right. So want to say hi to Pants 404. Welcome to the show. We Rent Goats. Thank you for showing up. I remember specifically that story. There was a company called We Rent Goats that had rented a slew of goats and to clear out a like an overgrown house, and they had the goats open in a field, and they got out and then rampaged through a small neighborhood and were like eating everything. Yeah. And then
I do remember that now.
the person behind the We Rent Goats Twitch account was like, I am making an account called We Rent Goats because of that. Yeah. Who else do we have that I saw here? Right. And that is Dr. Daisy's account. But Blue is typing. So yeah. I just trying not to dox names, you know. I know who everybody is, right? Let's see. I need to go grab something and check why 2 of my lights in my front room just went out. And
Yay!
give me just a sec.
Actually, I'm gonna grab another beer because my apartment is incredibly hot right now and I'm sweating. I've even killed the heat.
How do you kill heat?
With cold.
I think that's just replace. Oh well. I feel so alone. Nobody here.
I'm right here, you
beside
baby.
me. Ciao.
Joy Marie says hi.
Hi.
It's good
Welcome
to be
back, Udo. Udo is muted.
Yeah, you're not transmitting, my dude.
Nope. Still nothing, brother. See, this is what happens when
Okay.
there it is.
Right?
So the device driver for my microphone crashed, which causes voice meter banana to crash, which makes it so that nobody on the stream can hear anything. So,
Oh, perfect.
yeah. That's all resolved. The gremlins are out, apparently.
Yeah,
Two of the 4 lights in my front room just burnt out.
Perfect.
Yeah. I don't know. It's apparently
I
it's
did
time.
just talk about my old incandescent light bulb in my room still being active, so maybe your light bulbs heard me.
We quit. Fuck this.
Right. Yeah, apparently had a power surge, had some shit go down.
Yeah.
Angry Cicada's like, what? God damn it. Angry literally just replaced those light bulbs like a week and a half ago.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks.
All right. So, Pants says, can we all talk about what a huge miss D Live not being porn Twitch is? I found porn Twitch in case you ever want to find it. It's called Plex Storm. I was just looking into it, found it just the other day. So that is a thing.
To not oh god, calling people by Twitch handles is a weird one. I know it is. Phoenix Knight. She can read that, I
Right.
believe.
Yeah. Sure can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, let's see. Where I think everything is going on here. Okay. I think that everything has been restored the way it's supposed to be restored, and everything's still
Hooray.
working, and you guys can hear me, and we're all sounding good. Oh, wait.
Hey, if anybody out there wants to do me a huge favor because I'm shit at everything involving visual artistry, I would kill for a picture of like a bodybuilder with Santa's head photoshopped onto him, shot putting a golden ball.
Right? So stop your recordings right now.
What?
Oh, okay.
My recording just stopped. It didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably when the mic shit itself.
Right. So save your recordings.
Okay. So what, F21?
It's 22.
Or yeah, 22. I have a 21 file already,
It's 22. And then we're gonna
22A.
clear it out, and we're gonna have to start the record again. Just so that I can have, pardon me, the timing is correct. Because if I had just started recording again, there would have been this weird time lapse right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to go back to time.is.
Yep.
Hang on a minute. Audacity is giving me some issues. There we go. Okay. I'm good to go.
All right,
Yep, same.
so we are going to hit record at 20 after, and we're going to clap at 25.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Yep.
Close enough.
All right. Okay,
Enough.
so we can head into section 2. Apparently, Angry Cicada said super fart mode. I don't know what's going on with super fart mode.
Me neither. Sometimes I don't know about Angry Cicada.
Right?
She gonna beat you up next time she sees you.
Yeah, maybe. He'll likely deserve it.
I doubt it.
Kick his ass.
They greet each other by flipping each other off.
Yeah.
I believe it.
We have a rapport.
All right. I can't believe you guys haven't even commented on my new haircut yet.
It's under
I
your hat.
I lost like 2 inches of beard. 2 inches.
It's hidden behind your typewriter.
2 inches.
I actually was.
Also, I'm a man.
All right, look,
What?
look how fresh and clean this is here.
I was actually on Facebook and saw your picture of the new haircut and was like, damn, Udo looking fresh. And was like, but it'd be weird if we're in the middle of stream. And I'm like, hey, Udo, I was on Facebook. Your
Right.
haircut looks nice. Take your hat off for a second, damn it. Make this not weird for me.
It's looking good. I went
Yeah, I dig.
hella fade on the back. Like,
Oh, that
Like-
haircut makes me think so much of Anthony Cannon. Like, in a good way. It's rad.
Phoenix Knight, just because you're bald doesn't mean everyone needs to be.
I will end up bald eventually. I am sure of it because I've got a bald patch that's growing pretty heavily, and I've accepted it. My lot in life. I'll be there soon. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
come.
I don't need to rush into anything.
Right?
I have no idea if I'll bald or not, because like my mom's dad balded super hard, but my dad, he's in his late 60s and like his hair is definitely thinned out, but he's by no means going bald.
I definitely am not gonna do like what the elders in my family do, which is just wicked comb overs. Right? Like
Right.
like just the wispiest shit on this
I
side
hate-
that's all
I hate.
If I go bald, it is most likely going to happen to pattern baldness.
Hmm.
And if that starts happening, I will absolutely just shave my head.
What does that mean? Pattern baldness.
Instead of going bald from the top of your head, my hairline basically just recedes and recedes and recedes and recedes until
Ah,
I'm eventually bald.
I knew a dude in high school who pattern balded to like a friar cut by the time he was like 17.
oh,
My
good.
my oldest brother started pattern balding and has since just moved to shaving his head. And he and I are very, very similar. Like, I look exactly like he did 10 years ago when he was my age.
Right.
Yeah.
But that being said, he also started pattern balding when he was like in his mid-20s. So who knows?
Yeah.
Tim, when I say Leprechaun Seth, do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
What the
So, right before you met him, and
Mhm.
technically right before I met him, he was known as Seth with the luscious locks. He
Okay.
he used to have it super long, super full hair, and it fell out in like 2 years. When balding hit him, it hit him like a
Oh,
truck.
that sucks.
That is ass.
That was
Yeah.
that was kind of the problem with our friend Joe as well. He used to have super long, straight,
yeah.
awesome hair.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he started going bald, and he was like, "Nope, that's it. Here's Bickin' time."
Yeah.
Yep. He just
All I want is to
straight
grow
took
my
the whole
beard long
thing.
enough that I can braid it.
right. All right. So we're gonna get into the second part of the episode. Are you guys ready?
Onwards, brave soldiers.
Also, thank
I can
you,
sit back and relax.
chat, for mentioning that we were in off air. I had I had a thing in OBS open that switches two scenes at once, and you have to hit a specific transition button, and it ignores my control panel. So I've got it set up now. It should be good to go.
Okay, I thought we were just stuck in off air as part of the transition and general tech wonky.
Nope. I've still got that part right. It's just it's just the chatbot commands that are not working, and that was just because I ran out of time and getting things fixed. But I'll have that fixed by the next time we do stuff. So, all right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now recording.
All right, we're back. And so, at the risk of once again stealing a little bit of content from Tim,
Oh no!
I had prepared a little bit of an intro again.
All right.
Tim, do you have anything covering the various monsters of Christmas?
Some of them, yes.
Okay. Do you have the cat?
Yes.
Do you have the 13 gremlins?
I have the Yule lads.
Nope, that'd be it. All right, we're gonna skip this little intro that I wrote here. And then I'm just gonna hand the floor right over to Tim.
Okay.
I had no idea you were gonna cover the Christmas spider, so because I thought that would be just so left field that nobody would ever cover.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
No,
hate it so
So
much.
so this actually gives me a good piece to introduce my sections, I have a lot of just random facts. I just went on the internet and Googled weird, interesting Christmas facts and delved for like a good solid 5 hours, just looking into stuff that I just thought was interesting. So I have all of these facts split up into 4 categories. My first category is the random category. I didn't have somewhere specific for these. These were just random pieces. The next category will be the darker side of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
The next category will be the brighter side of Christmas. And the last category is the engineering pedantic side of Christmas. I'm a mechanical engineering student. I got to throw this in.
Wouldn't be a
This
Tim
is
segment
also-
without the pedantic engineer.
This is also titled the boring stuff.
Or the darkest side.
So we're
Let's
just
go
going to
which
jump
side?
straight in.
All right.
Do you guys know
No.
what one of the things you can do with your Christmas tree after you're done is donate it to a zoo?
Really?
Zoos will use old Christmas trees as food for a lot of their zoo animals.
That's awesome. I'm doing that this year.
Pig farms will do the same. If you're living out in the country, pigs will eat Christmas trees. They love them.
Oh. Awesome.
Nature's garbage disposal.
Right?
Yeah, basically. So everyone has heard about a white Christmas.
Right.
Between the 16th and 19th centuries, a little ice age took place on Earth, where global temperatures was several degrees lower than normal. This was when Charles Dickens was alive and started making his tales about Christmas, which is why you hear about a white Christmas.
Mm.
They were much more common back then.
Oh.
Because we don't get snow until the middle of the 3 months after the snow
Right.
season.
Generally till February or March. It is
I
more
fucking
it is
hate
more
snow.
likely for us to have a white Easter than a white Christmas.
Oh. I hate it. I hate snow
By
a lot.
statistics. It's more common on Easter than Christmas.
Huh.
How familiar are you guys with the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
I've seen it.
I know of it.
I love the movie. I
Hmm.
really enjoy it. It's
Oh god,
it's
I'm
played
getting
almost
death glared.
it's played almost every year on TV. It's very, very
It's
common.
gonna kill me.
It was considered by many to be a communist ploy to undermine bankers.
Huh.
Like that was a
commies.
huge conspiracy theory for a while. Also, something I found out today, when the bridge scene was filmed, did
Right.
anyone ever notice how the main character George was really sweaty?
I mean, I was assuming it was because he was having breakthroughs with, seeing all of, what his life
That's-
would be like.
That's what I thought too. Turns out it was because it was in fact 90 degrees that day when they were filming. So we were talking about pickles before.
Right?
Did you know that it is not uncommon in the United States for families to hide a pickle in their Christmas tree, like a pickle ornament or something like that?
Okay, so
Okay, you started
I-
saying that, and my wife immediately went, "Oh yeah, Christmas pickle." What the fuck?
Yeah.
I totally saw quite a few things mention the Christmas pickle or pickle ornaments and stuff. So I'm very interested to find out why.
Christmas pickle
So-
just a dick joke?
It's long been believed that the tradition came from Germany, but as far as anyone has been able to tell, that's not true. No one's really sure where it started, and it isn't a tradition
Definitely
outside the United States.
Huh?
In the morning, children search for the pickle, and the child that finds it receives a separate gift.
I think Uncle Lester has some fucking explaining to do, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Bring, you guys want to hear about
Christmas pickle?
Right, exactly. If you go through the tree and find the pickle, I'll give you something special.
God, I'm sleeping on the couch.
So
She's mad at me.
quick piece of information: that whole thing about the communist plot of that movie, the FBI were the ones who thought that was the deal, and
there was
did
an FBI file.
did an investigation on whether or not it was a communist ploy.
Yep.
Like, that shit got deep.
Is that movie like about like being gentle and kind and nice to each other?
Yeah, maybe.
It's about a guy who was down on his luck, but throughout the entire movie cares about others and helps trying
And that
others.
makes it communist propaganda. Jesus Christ.
Well, it portrays the banker in the town that he lives in as a rather unmoral person.
Okay. But Joy Marie is currently going, he's a shithead. He is an unmoral person.
So for my last random fact,
Right?
Yeah.
do you guys know that most, if not nearly all, of the most popular Christmas songs, including Winter Wonderland, the Christmas song, so titled The Christmas Song, and White Christmas, which happens to be the most best-selling single in history, were all written by Jewish people?
Yep. There's a piece of so you have stolen a piece of information from my works later today. So
Okay, now we're
fair
even.
is fair. I do have additional information on those songs, though.
But, well, I was going to put in more, but as soon as you told me earlier today that you were planning on covering Christmas carols, I cut like 3 of my things. I just didn't cut that one because I really liked it.
Right.
Okay, so on to the darker side of Christmas.
Excellent. This is the best part.
Did you guys know that 2 weeks before Christmas is the most popular time for couples to break up?
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, it's after December 11th, so I'm safe.
We made it.
They followed Facebook posts and and status updates and all that. And apparently 2 weeks before Christmas is the most popular time, with Christmas Day being the least popular.
Okay.
I get it. Like if you're if you're wanting to break up with somebody, you don't want to get them a present.
Well, it's
Rip
it's
the
the
Band-Aid
stress,
early.
it's the stress before the holidays that's going to compound, and people
Yeah.
don't want to. A lot of times, people will say rip the Band-Aid because they don't want to do that at Christmas. They're like, I should do it now, so hopefully they've got like a week and a half or whatever to get over it or whatever.
Right.
And like I also get it. Like the holidays can be really stressful. And that kind of stress can, if you don't have a really solid relationship, can really expose flaws.
Shit, what do I get Stacy for Christmas? Yeah, I know. I'll just break
Nothing.
up with her so that I don't have to answer this question.
I've been really struggling to Christmas shop for my wife, Joy Marie, this year. But she also knows it and is just like, we'll figure it out later.
Right?
So, in South Africa, Christmas has been around for a while. However, the tradition of leaving cookies out for Santa, there were so many kids who would sneak down and eat the cookies left out for Santa that parents in South Africa now tell their children the story of Danny, a boy who tried to eat Santa's cookies. He was caught by his grandmother, who then killed him for it. Now, Danny's ghost haunts the homes of naughty children at Christmas time, protecting Santa's cookies.
Did she chop him up and pickle him?
It doesn't have that part.
Right.
She just killed him.
She did, though. She did.
I am now I need to go and add Danny's ghost to my to everything about Christmas for me from now on. I'm just like, do not leave your children with me. They will come back knowing things that they
As
shouldn't.
a ham.
Just
Right?
ever.
Right? Well,
The two of them both fucking hate kids.
I'm going to be. Apparently, I am your babysitter today. Have you guys heard about Danny the Christmas ghost?
Oh,
Also,
my God.
if you aren't good, Santa will pickle you. And if
When
you
the
are good,
Christmas
he will
spirit
smash your home with golden cannonballs.
Perfect.
So, the people of Norway believe in Christmas witches. I shouldn't say that. Tradition in Norway is to believe in Christmas witches. A lot of other Europe,
You're a
Kimbo,
peepin'.
thank you. European people also believe in this, but it originated in Norway. People thought that witches and other evil spirits came out on Christmas Eve and that they would try and steal brooms to ride on. Like the standard witch riding around on a broom, that wasn't her broom. She would steal it. So, to this day, Norwegians hide their brooms away on Christmas Eve to ward off witches.
Little Norwegian kids just yeeting brooms into the river
Right.
and just being all like, the Christmas witch stole it, Mom. I can't sweep the floor.
Yeah. So, I'm going to do a terrible job of pronunciation on this next one.
Excellent.
Zwarte
As is tradition. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Zwarte Piet, or Black Pete, is a character in Dutch folklore
Yeah.
who is
This one's
said to
awkward.
be Santa's sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
He's a trickster who plays pranks and tosses candy in the air for young children. The only problem is Zwarte Piet was supposed to be a Moor, or a
Mhm.
dark-skinned person from Spain. So to this day, the character is portrayed all across the Netherlands in blackface.
Right. And he makes Twitter super pissed.
Sure does.
Yeah,
Sure
blackface
does.
is awkward.
Right. Well, and it is not your traditional, like, I browned up my face blackface either.
No.
They
It's yeah.
Yeah, they jet black their face and body, like it full body paint on a lot of the guys who do it.
Yeah, like it's full on blackface.
Right.
So staying in Europe and in Eastern Europe, one of the stories told to children is about Frau Perchta, or the Christmas witch. She has two faces, a nice face that she shows to nice children, and a scary face she shows to bad ones. She comes into homes on the 12th night of Christmas and leaves a piece of silver in the shoes of nice children. That's nice. But for bad children, she slits open their bellies, takes out their organs, and replaces them with pebbles and straw.
You fucking what?
Yeah. If you're nice, you get a piece of silver.
Right?
If you're naughty, you lose your kidney and your liver and your spleen, and instead get pebbles and straw.
That's how she affords the silver for the nice kids.
Yeah, she's selling kidneys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Okay, that makes sense.
there's like the 4-year fucking con to play on your own kids. You just leave silver, right? Like you go forward, like constantly tell this story, and then for a couple of years you leave a small piece of silver, like you
Right.
definitely.
And then eventually stop.
Yeah, and then just 1 year don't.
Mhm.
What a January 5th that'll be. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Mom, I haven't got a silver.
So
Torturing children.
So now we're going to go to the country where I found the most terrible stories.
Oh God.
Germany.
Yep.
Are these the engineer stories?
No, we're nowhere near the engineering stuff yet. So in
Save.
Germany, the naughty kids, the first legend is Krampus,
Yep.
who is a devil, half devil, half goat, who kidnaps naughty kids by stuffing them in a sack, and then dragging them back to his lair to eat. He's portrayed often in live action and he is terrifying to look at. Like the stuff of nightmares. Like, I can't believe that they allow kids to see this guy. Yet another story told to German children is Belsnickel.
Belsnickel.
Belsnickel was a masked gift giver
Snickle.
who is said to be the first Christmas tradition that distinguished between good and bad children. Like Santa, adults would dress up as Belsnickel, and the children would be allowed to see him the night before Christmas.
Right.
But of course, stories said that he would drag naughty children out of their beds and make them dance or sing to redeem themselves. If they didn't impress him, they'd never get to go home.
And he's like the Wario version of Santa, right?
Yeah,
like he's
kinda.
dressed in yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yet again, another story told in Germany is about Knecht Ruprecht. I think I'm pronouncing that semi on par.
Okay.
Knecht Ruprecht as a sort of counterpoint to Santa. He wears a dark robe, has a long, dark beard, and carries a bag of ashes, switches, treats, and a long staff. Switches being a long, slender rod used to punish children.
Yep. You got to go pick a switch.
Yeah.
If
Some
you-
people still grow up as Knecht Ruprecht, giving the treats to nice children while giving the naughty ones switches and ash.
And when you say give
Okay,
them
you know,
switches,
honestly,
you mean hit them with a stick,
Yeah,
right?
give them the old switch.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than the Christmas witch that steals your organs.
True.
True.
Just saying.
However, next we move to France. Hans Trapp was said to be a rich, cruel man who lived in the Alsace region of France. He worshipped the devil and would do anything to become more rich and powerful. He was eventually, I like this, eventually excommunicated and had to live in the forest. It took him a while to excommunicate the guy who worships the devil.
Right.
But so moved to the forest. He then became a cannibal and would go out on Christmas dressed as a scarecrow, trying to kidnap and eat bad children. To this day,
As you
Children-
do.
to this day, children in Alsace and Lorraine still fear him. When I say Christmas, what is the first thing that pops into your guys' heads?
Trees.
Candy canes.
It's not goblins,
Right.
because that's what it was to the Greeks. The Kalakenzori are small goblins who live underground all year, but come out during the 12 days of Christmas to intimidate people, spoil food, and pee in flower beds. Greek families often use black-handled knives, the lower jaw of a pig, or a tangled string hung over their doorway to ward off the little monsters. Children born on Christmas Day are thought to be at risk of turning into a Kalakenzore themselves.
What the fuck?
I knew it.
Yeah. Got to worry about the goblins, man.
Right.
In Gale, Sweden, Gayle. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but I'm going to say Gale, Sweden. In 1966, the local government wanted to create a fun new Christmas tradition. So every year, they erect a giant straw statue of a goat. The only problem was they picked an extremely flammable building material. So now there's another Christmas tradition in Sweden.
The flaming of the goat.
People trying to burn down the goat. They don't succeed every time. They're discouraged from it. But for 35 of the last 50 years, the people of Gale have celebrated Christmas with a gigantic flaming goat.
Yes. It's perfect.
Right in the Belschnickel.
Yep. Right in the bell. So, children in Iceland don't just wait for Santa to arrive. They also await 13 mischievous trolls called the Yule lads.
These sons of bitches.
The Yule lads. That's
Yeah.
such a great name.
The lads have names like gimpy, pot scraper, bowl licker, door sniffer, meat hook, and, more worryingly, window peeper and sausage swiper.
Oh, you go swipe your sausage.
Though today they are said to leave gifts for good children, it used to be thought that they stole food, slammed doors, and generally terrorized Icelandic homes. They were also said to kidnap children to bring to their terrifying mother. As if the Yule lads weren't creepy enough, Icelanders also tell children about their horrifying mother, Grilla.
Mm-hmm.
She's a hooved, half ogre, half troll who's covered in warts and has large, terrifying horns.
Okay.
She gets her children to snatch bad boys and girls from their homes at Christmas so she can cook them and eat them. This story was so terrifying to Icelandic children that the national government eventually had to ban using the story of Grilla and the Yule lads as an intimidation tactic to make children behave. There is legal legislation against telling this story to children.
Oh, I'm gonna break laws.
Right?
Yo, ain't no laws when you're drinking White Claws.
And just in case this story wasn't frightening enough, Grilla and the Yule lads also had a cat
Mm-hmm.
known as Jólakötturinn, or just plainly the Yule cat. Sounds friendly enough, but this monstrous cat is said to devour anyone who doesn't receive an article of clothing for Christmas.
Right. You get punished if you don't get socks.
If you don't get an article of clothing, you get devoured by a monstrous cat. It's not even your fault.
Right.
Your parents didn't get you socks or underwear or a coat, so you're going to get eaten.
Right.
And that's what I have for the darker side of Christmas. So let's move on to the brighter side. Now it's time for the palate cleanser, so to speak.
Tom, you have a look on your face.
Just all of that.
You look like you've been schnickled.
Oh, this should have been in
What the fuck?
this should have been in my random facts, but apparently it's in the brighter facts. So we're going to start with this one. In Japan, people traditionally eat KFC for Christmas dinner, thanks to a successful marketing campaign that occurred 40 years ago. It is so popular that customers must place their Christmas orders 2 months in advance.
What the
Right.
fuck?
KFC is a big deal in Japan.
Yep.
What the fuck?
It's
Japan?
a big deal. Yeah.
KFC isn't good.
I don't know. Japanese KFC is probably just way better.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's
also
fair.
the fact that we're used to KFC in America. That's like American food. In Japan, that's considered a delicacy.
Oh yeah, I suppose it's like me and my love of ramen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ramen is the best.
So in 1955, at the height of the Cold War and tensions with the Soviet Union, a general at the Continental Air Defense Command, or CONAD, in Colorado, received a call on a top secret hotline. Bracing himself for news of a missile attack, the general instead heard the shaky voice of a young boy asking, "Are you really Santa Claus?" As it turns out, the number had been mistakenly published in the newspaper as a Sears Santa hotline.
That's so cute.
But this is like a missile command.
Yeah. Instead of dismissing the incident, CONAD, which was later renamed the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD,
Mm-hmm.
in 1958, embraced the role as the official Santa tracker, using its massive satellite network once a year to broadcast Santa's exact whereabouts.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Today, 1,500 NORAD troops and volunteers answer phone lines on Christmas Eve.
That's fantastic. I'm calling
NORAD,
NORAD this Christmas.
Our missile defense system tracks Santa for us.
Right?
Santa Claus is secretly the code name of our biggest missiles.
Right. So during Christmas of 2010, 9 years ago, the Colombian government covered jungle trees in Colombia with Christmas lights.
Cool.
When FARC guerrillas or terrorists walked by the trees lit up with banners asking them to lay down their arms. In total, 331 guerrilla fighters re-entered society that day, and the campaign won an award for strategic marketing excellence. So Christmas
Strategic
reformed
marketing excellence.
331 terrorists.
Oh my god.
So next, on December 7th, 1914, 5 months into the outbreak of fighting in World War I, Pope Benedict XV called for a temporary ceasefire during the Christmas season. However, military leaders on all sides ignored the request. But the troops in the trenches did not. As night fell on Christmas Eve, sounds of Christmas carols began ringing out in German and English across no man's land all up and down the line. The next morning, unarmed German soldiers approached the British line shouting, "Merry Christmas," practically the only English they knew. They were met with hearty handshakes, gifts of chocolate and cigarettes, and a spirited game of soccer between England and Germany.
I love this story.
So yeah, for Christmas Day, there was no World War.
Yep.
And then my last piece, for the brighter side, in 1867, shortly after, 3 years after the Civil War, a Boston industrialist heard Charles Dickens read A Christmas Carol and was so moved by it, he closed his factory on Christmas Day, which was not at all required or expected, and gave every one of his employees a turkey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's cool.
Basic human
That is
decency.
pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to get into the boring stuff.
All right.
Or
the
the
boring,
stuff that I really, really enjoy.
the boring stuff. I'm actually super interested to in what the fuck this is. Like,
So there are 2 billion children, people under 18, in the world. But since Santa doesn't appear to handle the Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, or Buddhist children, that reduces his workload to 15% of the total 378 to a total of 378 million,
Yes, we're doing math.
according to the Population Reference Bureau.
Words only I would ever say.
At an average census rate of 3.5 children per household, that's 91.8 million homes for Santa to visit. Presumably, there's at least one good child in each home.
right?
So we're
Is
gonna
there,
stick
though?
at 91.
I think
million.
Udo would disagree.
They're all little shits.
with the rotation of the Earth and the time zones,
Oh, Jesus
Santa
Christ.
actually has 31 hours of Christmas to work with, assuming he travels east to west, which seems logical.
Yeah.
This works
He's no
out
dumb.
to
Come on.
822.6 visits per second. This is to say that for each Christian household with good children, Santa has 1/1000th of a second to park, hop out of the sleigh, jump down the chimney, fill the stockings, distribute the remaining presents under the tree, eat whatever snacks have been left, get back up the chimney, get back into the sleigh, and move on to the next house.
I've come to an incredibly important realization.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is Barry Allen, fastest man alive.
Assuming that each of these 91.8 million stops are evenly distributed around the Earth, which of course we know to be false, but for
Right.
the purpose of our calculations, we'll assume it. We are now talking about 0.78 miles per household, a total trip of 75.5 million miles, not counting stops to do what most of us must do at least every 31 hours,
Right?
plus
Yo, it's called a bottle.
plus eating
on.
and etc. This means that Santa's sleigh is moving at 650 miles per second, 3,000 times the speed of sound. For purposes of comparison, the fastest man-made vehicle, the Ulysses space probe, moves along at a pokey 27.4 miles per second. A conventional reindeer can run tops 15 miles per hour.
Right.
So moving on, the payload on the sleigh adds another interesting element. Assuming that each child gets nothing more than a medium-sized Lego set, averaging around 2 pounds, the sleigh is carrying 321,300 tons, not counting Santa, who is invariably described as overweight.
Right.
No, wrong.
He's
We
yoked
have
out.
canonically
Remember?
confirmed
He's
that Santa
fucking
is shredded.
Muscle
Right.
weighs more than fat.
Fair.
On land, conventional reindeer can pull no more than 300 pounds. Even granting the flying reindeer aspect, so magical reindeer, if we give them that they could pull 10 times the normal reindeer,
Mhm.
you
Not
still cannot pull Santa's sleigh with 8 or 9 reindeer.
Right.
You need 214,200 magical mystical reindeer. This increases the payload, not even counting for the weight of the sleigh, to
Right.
353,000 tons. Again, for comparison, this is 4 times the weight of the Queen Elizabeth cruise liner.
Right.
So, at 353,000 tons, traveling at 650 miles per second, this is going to create an enormous air resistance.
Oh no.
This will heat the reindeer up in the same fashion as a spacecraft re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. The lead pair of reindeer will absorb 14.3 quintillion jolts of energy per second each. In short, they will burst into flames almost instantaneously, exposing the reindeer behind them almost instantaneously, and create deafening sonic booms in their wake.
God damn.
You said how many quintillion joules per second? How many?
14.3 quintillion jolts of energy. I'm presuming they mean joules.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait,
I didn't want to put words in their mouth. I didn't actually do this math myself because I'm out of school right now.
Right.
But so the entire reindeer team will be subjected to centrifugal forces 17,500 times greater than gravity. A 250-pound Santa, which seems ludicrously slim considering that's 10 pounds heavier than I weigh,
Right.
would be pinned to the back of his sleigh by a 4,315,015 pounds of force.
Also, I think the drag, that wattage is. So you said quintillion. I believe, standard nuclear power plant puts out around, a billion. I think a billion watts of
Yeah,
electricity.
they put out. I just recently learned this. I think
Because
they
it's
put out,
3,000 megawatt
14
thermal.
gigawatts or something like that.
Yeah, like a gigawatt or so is for a gigawatt electric or so is pretty normal. Yeah, quintillion joules per second is like gigatera peta yada? A yada watt or something like
Yeah.
that?
Something like that. But so again, 4 million pounds of force pinning Santa to the back of his sleigh. In conclusion, if Santa ever did deliver presents on Christmas Eve, he died.
Right. We now have data.
Quote, fuck you, he's magic.
We have data to figure out a couple of cool pieces of information. One, we could figure out if how much of a weight difference it would be if he was carrying the orbs of gold to throw through everybody's windows.
Sure could. Jesus.
We could also, with the data that you've provided, figure out how many calories he takes on every Christmas through milk and cookies.
That's true. We could.
Oh my
We
god, we could.
Right? Yep.
So gold weighs 19 grams per
Let's-
cubic centimeter.
We can't do it now.
We can. You just won't.
That's correct.
Each golden shot put is about 11 kilos.
Right?
Yeah.
So we need to,
I pre-did that math.
we just have to figure out how many homes we're going to be doing that, and then we add it all together. But we will update everybody on that in the future.
Oh, I was gonna say when we go on break before your segment, I'm gonna figure this shit out.
Maybe we'll have it by the time we get back. All right. And with that, I think it's time for the next break.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. When we return, I will both enhance and ruin Christmas caroling.
Yay!
No longer recording.
All right.
Tim, how many houses does Santa have to visit?
Santa has to visit 91.8 million houses.
91.86, so 9.187 times.
There were so many people chatting during my engineering bit.
Right. Adam E, welcome to the show. Saw that you were here. Sorry I didn't say much to you when you showed up, but we were doing the recording. So I'm pretty excited. This is gonna be pretty fun.
I'll be right back, gentlemen. Nature calls.
All right. Let's see. Do reindeer spit?
So 1E9 kilos.
I gotta grab and show everybody an image here really quick. I have a thing to share with everybody. Once it loads up, it takes a second. Facebook Messenger is being the slowest bitch on earth.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay.
All right, save image. Stick it
So
in.
in answer to an earlier question, I do not believe that reindeer spit.
Okay. Okay, so Santa would need around 1 times 10 to the 9th. A gigagram, if you will. No,
All right.
1 times 10 to the 9th kilos. He would need a teragram. Jesus. Okay.
Take a look at the stream here, guys.
Yeah, it's real good.
Oh, yeah. I was so happy.
There's Loked Out Santa with his
Yay!
golden shot puts. Very excited about this. Thank you very much for whoever on the team of We Rent Goats handled that. All right. Phoenix Knight says that reindeer don't spit, but they do drool. All right. So
I've come to a conclusion.
Hmm.
Santa is an alchemist who can transmute things into gold because to deliver enough gold to shell every house in the world with a gold ball, as we have confirmed that Santa will.
Mm-hmm.
It would take about 10 times as much gold as currently exists in the world.
Yeah.
This is why the gold standard is a bad idea, because Santa Claus is going to fucking ruin it with his golden cannonballs. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's only enough, the amount of gold that has ever been mined out of the ground or out of rivers or what have you on the earth would only fill 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Right. All we got to do is just start, going Minecraft. We got to get some fucking pig farms.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, totally.
No.
Yeah, open up a
Get
portal
out.
to the nether.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to handle this.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, another thing, a ton of gold.
Minecraft levels of gold in order to fucking
Yep.
get everything going here. All right. I think that actually we answered most of the questions we had sitting here. Adam E says it's a good show so far. I appreciate the compliment there.
Flex.
Yeah. Let's see. Phoenix
right.
says that it would.
Considering neither of you are wearing your suit jackets, I'm going to take mine off because it's really warm in my room.
Yeah, it's
I was gonna
fucking
say,
hot
I'm-
today.
You're lucky I'm not like stripping down to my tank top because I'm roasting.
Right.
Like for the past couple of weeks, I get into my car in the morning and it's like, oh, it's 28 out. It's fucking cold. This morning I got in, it was 53 at like 6 in the
Right.
morning this morning.
Yeah,
Right.
like I'm considering turning my air conditioner on.
Yeah.
Like I don't even care that it's gonna rain all day tomorrow out at the Afterworld site. It's gonna be warm.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be that like uncomfortable, like soggy, warm, wet.
God. Fucking if you way to ruin it for me, you dick. Whatever, I'm not coming tomorrow. Fuck off.
Okay. Well, are you guys ready to get into the third and final act?
Am
Hell
I?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just go straight into it. Let me make sure I've got my notes up here because otherwise,
Onwards
right?
to glory.
Meow.
All right. So we are going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now recording.
All right. We are back. And tonight, I have information for you on Christmas caroling. Now, Christmas caroling might suck now. And I'm going to tell you
Like
guys on how we should go back to the old ways.
Okay, I like Christmas
Can
caroling.
we go back to the old ways where Christmas carols didn't exist and I never have to hear them?
I'll go.
I'm just by the end of this presentation, I believe that both of you will be interested in going Christmas caroling in the old traditions.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I like Christmas caroling
I'll-
just because I like singing.
I'll suspend my disbelief for now.
Right? So, one traditional and very familiar Christmas carol is a song that is among the most classic, and it is Here We Come A-Wassailing. The song goes,
What?
Here we
Wassailing?
come, right? Here we come
Here we come,
a-wassailing along
wassailing.
the, right? It's so hard to sing with a delay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah, I
all
was singing
good.
up to you, and I'm guessing on your end it sounded fucking
It was
awful.
terrible.
Good job, Tom.
ruined
Never
it,
have
I'm
anything
sorry.
nice.
Right?
Christmas
This is why
canceled.
caroling sucks.
What? Fuck you.
Anyway, here we come a-wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we come a-wandering, so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year. And as many people are thinking, and Tim has currently said, what the fuck is a-wassailing? The term... The term for wassailing is an English term that has existed and evolved for over a millennium. Its origins were originally a simple greeting. It was used in a toast for ritualized drinking and absorbed into holiday customs and rooted in social propriety and intentional suspension thereof, right? Very drunk, right? Is what that word would have meant. Wassailing would have been a toast to be very, very drunk.
So a pub crawl.
Right.
Sweet.
Originally, the and I'm hoping I use this word right. I always try my best, but the etymology of the word is from the Old Norse veshael and the Old English wasshal, which meant to be in good health or be fortunate. The phrase first was used as a greeting, but Danish-speaking inhabitants of England turned wassail, which had a reply of drink hail, into a drinking formula that was adopted by everybody in England. So much so that the Norman conquerors who came in the 11th century just thought that was their language, right? They didn't know that it was a colloquialism. They just thought that to say hello was replied with drinking.
So I'm gonna stop you real quick.
Right.
I'm gonna back you up just a second. You said entomology.
Right.
That is the study of insects.
It's because it's entomology.
It's
That's
etymology.
how I remember it.
Is it et?
Or
Not-
no, it's entomology as bugs because ants are close.
Entomology is the study of insects.
Yeah.
The origin of a word is etymology.
et. Okay. I added an N.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, legit. The way I remember it is entomology is you study ants.
Right.
Entomology. It's dumb, but it works.
Well,
You're dumb.
very,
But you
very.
work.
You were correct. So, wassail appears in English literature as a salute in the 8th century poem Beowulf, which is originally where that came from. In references to things such as warriors wassailing. So the original poem went, "The rider sleepeth, the hero far hidden, no harp resounds. In the course no wassail, as was once heard." This is just to say that there's Beowulf being a story that goes quickly sad, as many people are killed by a giant monster. He's saying that in the dark room full of dead people, there is no more celebrating.
Yep.
Eventually, one form of wassail was called lamb's wool, which was specifically where the language went after it became a greeting. It became a beer. So they stopped using wassail as referring to saying hello, and it was now obtaining a drink, specifically a wassail, which was an ale or dark beer that was shipped an ale or dark beer that was whipped to form a surface froth that they floated roasted crab apples in.
Huh.
Okay.
Right. This was also seasoned with things like nutmeg, so it started to get a little bit seasonal quality.
Yeah.
Much in the same way that mulled cider was generally, or mulled wine was generally associated with Christmas because it was served hot.
Right.
Okay.
So this drink, this whipped ale with apples in it, was often stored in a large bowl. And that bowl was called a wassail bowl. And in the 13th century, the wassail bowl was a vessel that they dipped cakes into. So they were dipping cakes in beer.
Perfect.
Right?
Oh, that sounds good.
Which is where they had, since there were floating pieces of bread, that is like fried and baked bread. It was, toast. That is where the origins of the word toast as a drinking salutation came from.
Huh. Cool.
So craftsmen.
I always thought toast came from Prost.
Nope. Specifically, it's because there was fucking toast in the beer.
Okay. Toast.
Craftsmen would fashion the wassail bowl from materials that they could have withstand very heavy use, like wood or pewter. The very wealthy sometimes had them crafted out of precious metals or carved in decorative stone. Everybody, all homes, had a wassail bowl, which now means you have an objective when you go wassailing.
It's to get your hands on the wassail bowl, or what's specifically in it.
Correct.
Drink all their booze?
Yes. A 14th century retelling of the story of King Vortigern and Renwine portrayed people drinking alternately from the same cup, and the leader gathering took the bowl would say wassail, and then the assemblage would all say drink hail, and he would pass the bowl around to everybody kissing each and every one of them. And then the guests would then do the same thing. They would pick up the bowl, take a drink, pass it to somebody, and drink and give them a kiss. Right. That practice survived into the Renaissance at the Tudor court, until chief officers of the household ceremoniously would then, the practice survived into the Renaissance. At the Tudor court, the officers would then take the household wassail bowl and ceremoniously bring it to the monarch's presence as a big to-do, right? In parts of medieval Britain, this is where the perfect version of wassailing would emerge. Farmers would wassail their crops and animals to encourage fertility. They would go to the ox house where the oxen were with the wassail bowl and bring all of the other farmhands and drink to the animals' health. The practice continued into the 8th century when the farmers in the west of Britain toasted to the good health of apple trees to promote abundant crops for the next year. They would put cider-soaked bread in the branches to ward off evil spirits. And in other locales, villagers would then splash the trees with cider while firing guns and beating pots and pans.
So basically, this was an excuse to get drunk.
Right. Yeah, correct. This was
Be your health, tree.
Right. This was a medieval yeehaw. They had songs that they would sing, like "Let every man take off his hat and shout to the old apple tree. Old apple tree, we wassail thee, and hoping thou will bear." By about 16...
this is back before recorded music.
Right. By about 1600, the practice of taking a wassail bowl out to the streets began to take root. Instead of consuming the punch-like concoction at home, they would go house to house offering drink, sometimes expecting payment.
Perfect.
In the 17th century, one commentator wrote, "Wenches buy their wassails at New Year's tide, present you with the cup, and must drink of the slabby stuff. But the meaning is, you give them money." In some places,
Mercenary women.
right?
Here we come a wassailing, so pay us all some gold.
In some places, women would trim the bowl with ribbons and sprigs of rosemary and carry them into the streets while singing carols. This is right before it becomes the best. They would say,
God.
they would start talking things about they would begin singing songs like "Wassail, wassail out the milk pail, wassail, wassail as white as my nail, wassail, wassail in snow, frost and hail, wassail, wassail that much doth avail, wassail, wassail that will never fail." It didn't take long for wassailing in expectation of a recompense to merge with another manifestation of the holiday, which was an inheritance from the ancient Romans called misrule. At the Roman winter festival of Saturnalia, there was a relationship between people who were the lords and the people who were the servants. It was often called boxing, where clay boxes with money were then distributed to the English servants. They found that eventually this found its way to colonial America. The English and Canadian calendars still mark Boxing Day as December 26th, which is the traditional feast of St. Stephen. And what they would do is the poor would expect privileges that were denied to them at other times, including the right to enter the homes of the wealthy and feast upon the best of their provisions in exchange for the goodwill of the people for one more year.
I would like to point out, I am really glad I did not include this fact in my sections.
Excellent.
I did have a
will fucking kill you.
I did have a little bit of a blurb on Boxing Day that I decided not to include.
Right? At these gatherings, the bands of roving wassailers would perform songs for their lords and masters while drinking his beer, toasting him, his family, his livestock, and hoping that they had continued health and wealth. They had songs like "Again We Assemble a Merry New Year to wish each one of the family here. May they of potatoes and herrings have plenty, with butter and cheese and each other dainty." Though not every song, however, had unreserved goodwill. Some of these songs,
Here we go, a wassailing, fuck this racist shit.
offered quite a few threats. Like, "We have come to claim our right, and if you don't open up your door, we'll lay you flat upon the floor."
Treat us well or we'll revolt.
Right. So the holiday like misrule gave concern to church leaders and lords of England who attempted to stop English Christians from bringing this to America, but it didn't happen. It happened real fast. So the Feast of Christ's Nativity was then spent in reveling, dicing, carding, masking, and licentious liberty, as was quoted by the Boston divine Cotton Mather. He was a holy man in Boston in 1712. So historian Stephen Nissenbaum recounted an instance of Christmas keeping a 17th century Massachusetts as an example of wassailing gone very bad. On the night of 1679, 4 men of the village of Salem entered a house of septuagenarian John Rowden. Septuagenarian meaning 70-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
He was known for making pear wine, which was referred to as perry. The men who made themselves at home in his home made themselves a spot in front of his fire and began to sing wassailing songs. After a couple of songs, they broke into his bedroom and forced Rowden and his wife to bring them some of the new wine. Rowden refused and kindly asked the men to leave, and they responded that it's Christmas Day, and we came to drink and be merry, and there's nowhere else to get any of this pear wine, and we're going to have some perry before we go. When the visitors promised that they would return later and pay for the drink, Mrs. Rowden told them that this isn't a tavern. Get the fuck out of my house.
Right.
The 4 men did eventually leave, but 3 of them returned 15 minutes later and attempt to try to pass off a piece of lead as payment in coin. The Rowdens and their adopted son, Daniel Poole, got the men to actually get out of the front door. But they wouldn't leave the property and started giving taunts and threats, and eventually violence broke out. They threw stones, bones, and other random objects at the adopted son, Daniel Poole, in the doorway and against the house. They beat down the daubing in several places and continued to throw stones for an hour and a half with almost no intermission.
Jesus.
Right? They broke down a pole and half of a fence, with a stone wall and part of the cellar. They eventually broke through one of the doors and stole about 6 pecks of apples
Why didn't they break in and steal the fucking pear wine?
I don't think
It's
they
probably
knew.
in the basement.
Right, they probably couldn't find it.
It's fair.
Right,
It's probably laid down underneath the main house.
right in
Okay,
the, in
the
the root
apples
cellar.
are probably started in an outbuilding.
Right.
Okay.
So wassailing continued into the 19th century, and other wassail-like drinks like eggnog gained popularity.
Eggnog good.
Gross.
Right.
Shut up.
In the 1820s, American novelist Washington Irving did a ton to fix the idea of wassailing and changed things in the minds of his readers, and slowly began to transform the practice towards what we know as caroling. In England, the works of Charles Dickens portrayed the gatherings around a wassail bowl, and in Victorian times, caroling came into its own, distanced from the context of alcohol and the consumption of rowdiness. So, the holiday celebration of John Canoe, which was practiced by African slaves in the Caribbean islands, was brought to North Carolina. The origin of its name it was something called Junkanoo or John Cooner, which is very unclear. It said that it recalled a legendary African prince and slave trader. During Christmastide, bands of young black men in bizarre costumes would play music and be marched from place to place while accosting whites and sometimes entering their houses. So this is a story that was brought along. There isn't much of a proof of what's going on of it happening, but it is a thing that is celebrated. John Canoe was practiced in the West Indies, particularly in Jamaica today. It's still a thing that occurs. And in the slave South, where the Old English customs had died quite hard, the Christmas season took on a carnival-type atmosphere. Former slaves like Booker T. Washington and Frederick Douglass wrote about Christmas as a time when masters released their human chattel from work and then encouraged them to be drunk, as kind of a celebration very similar to wassailing. The slaves at Christmas expected, like the poor of Old England, gifts of clothing, food, drink, and other commodities from their masters. Some of the planters would open up their homes for the day, settling for presenting tokens and receiving an homage and greeting from their slaves. The slaves would get drunk, and at the end of the Civil War, there was a question on whether or not they would continue the traditional exchanges of gifts around that time, which is how we start to get a little bit more of our modern day gift giving. Right?
Yeah.
So elements of wassailing, like begging door to door, survived until the 20th century in Britain and America. Older residents in the Big Apple will remember New Year's Day in 1930s and 1940s, and some New York City children dressed in ragged clothing and dirtied faces ringing doorbells to ask for pennies. Largely, the drink was removed from wassailing at that point, right? Largely. I don't say
What, they don't want to
entirely.
give booze to small children?
Right?
Weird.
There are rural folk in places near Britain that keep wassailing practices alive today, though mostly it is a self-conscious preservation of a virtually extinct tradition. And the song specifically that still tells the tale of wassailing is the song "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," as it says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We're here to make you happy. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bring us some figgy pudding. Bring us some figgy pudding. Bring us some figgy pudding, and bring it right here." And the next line is kind of ominous. "We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring it right here." It's kind of telling the tale of how all of this happened. And people still sing that shit today. Right? People still singing about getting their figgy pudding. Right? I do have some data on some traditional Christmas carols and how they're all fucked up.
Yep, they're all terrible.
Right. So you guys are familiar with the song, and we mentioned this a little bit before White Christmas.
Uh-huh.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. So besides the fact that it was written by a man of Jewish descent, he wrote it because he had a yearly tradition of visiting his son's grave. And the child had passed away on a Christmas day when he was 3 weeks old.
Oh.
He wrote that song in order to help remember his son, and it aired on the radio the day after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And it became an anthem for soldiers that were on the following Christmas. They would sing it in memories of their family far away, just as Berlin did for his son.
Huh.
Merry Little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. That's
No.
right. So this song was originally written by Hugh Martin for the film Meet Me in St. Louis. And it was sung by Judy Garland. However, it originally was written with rather dark themes of loss and saying goodbye to your family, which was part of the synopsis of the film.
Yep, sounds about right.
When it was originally written, it was presented to Judy Garland and co-star Tom Drake and the director Vincent Minnelli. They criticized the song as being far too depressing and refused to sing it until it was rewritten and made more upbeat.
Wow.
How about the song Santa Claus is coming to town, right?
Bomb you with gold.
Right? So this carol was originally written by James Gillespie in a state of pure mourning. He was asked to write a Christmas song, but he had just, like the day that he was asked to write a Christmas song, he had just came back from the funeral of his brother.
Oh, perfect.
While he was on the subway reminiscing his childhood with his brother, and the warnings that his mother would tell him of Santa Claus's watching eye, he thought up the lyrics and sent them to the composer that day.
Wow.
So Santa Claus is coming to town was written by a man stricken with grief. Like, and okay, so oh holy night, that that song,
Yeah.
right? The artist who wrote that, I will slaughter his name here, Placide Capue de Romaniquer. It's terrible. Anyway,
It's dead. It's dead. Just leave it.
right. He was commissioned to write the poem For a Christmas Mass in 1847. And when he wrote the lyrics to Oh Holy Night, he based it on the Nativity Bible stories. Though the impact of his words were powerful when set to music, he asked Adolphe Charles Adams to create the score. The French Catholic Church loved the song until they found out that Capot was a Jewish man. Or sorry, it wasn't even Capot. Sorry, it was until Capot, the composer, found out that Charles Adams, the composer, was Jewish. So the church banned the song and denounced it since a man of a different religion had written it. Unfortunately, the French people had already heard the song and began to sing it. It became super popular, and there was nothing the Catholic Church could do.
Awesome.
Right? I'm not going to even try this one, but Hark the Herald Angels Sing, right?
Oh, come on. Come on, you gotta.
I can't even think of how it
Oh, I
goes.
thought it was a name.
Right. The name of the song is
Yeah. Hark the herald angels sing.
Right.
Glory to the newborn king.
I couldn't even put it into my head, but yeah, that's exactly the song, right? So this song is nothing like it was originally written.
Oh?
So it's a classic carol, but it's also the chimera song of several men putting in their own work on the song without asking for approval from the guy who wrote it before.
For a second, I thought you meant it was like actually a song about a chimera, and was just like, what?
No, it is just a mishmash song of a bunch of people.
Hey, Tom, did you know that chimeras don't exist?
Right. The original lyrics were created as a poem by Charles Wesley in 1739, but they were written in old-timey English and contained odd phrases like welkin rings. Which, I mean...
Everybody knows about walking rings.
Right, exactly. So a guy named George Whitefield decided to change the lyrics without the permission of Charles Wesley. Wesley was very upset about this, but the poem became more popular after the adjustment. So, unfortunately, there was nothing that he could do about it. In 1855, after both of the last two guys had died, an organist named William Cummings set the Whitefield Wesley poem to music composed by Felix Madelselhorn. Yeah, Madelselhorn. Anyway, he insisted that his work was never to be used for religious purposes, but since he was dead too, he didn't get a say in that either. So the classic song was then created, and all three of the other guys who were involved in it would have been mad.
Fair.
The guy who wrote the music was mad that it was a religious song, and the two guys who wrote it before, it was a poem, not a song. So, Hark the Herald Angels Sing is a mishmash of a bunch of people who are probably mad about it.
Sounds about right.
I'll be home.
Let's be a lesson to you, public at large. Stop singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. While you're at it, stop singing everything else too.
Hark the herald
Huh?
angels sing.
Glory to
the
newborn king.
Oh, so now it's the fifth person is changing the song without the permission of the initial artist.
Whatever, it's long gone.
Right? So the song, I'll Be Home for Christmas. This song was released at the worst time and in very bad taste.
Was this during a war where soldiers weren't home for Christmas?
Maybe. So I'll Be Home for Christmas, being one of the most sentimental holiday classics, was beloved by many people, and it helped people relate to the feeling of loneliness and separation during the holidays. But that song was written in 1943 and released in the same year.
Yikes.
Which was directly in the middle of World War II, 2 years before the troops would get to come home.
Yeah.
So everybody at home hearing this song about I'll Be Home for Christmas, a lot of people didn't come home. And a lot of them didn't ever come home.
Right?
Yikes, and big oof.
Yeah, this is a big old oof. Yeah.
Our bad.
Right? And then finally, unless you are really into caroling, you will not know shit about this one.
What's the name of it?
I Saw Three Ships.
I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
What would you say that song's about?
Is there a mute button?
What would you say that song's
all
about?
The bells on a showering on Christmas Day. On
Where
Christmas
is the
Day.
mute button?
And I love singing at him now, 'cause it's really funny when he gets mad.
Right?
I just remember to have a mute button on my headset. Get fucked.
Are you aware of the lyrics from the version, well, from one version of that song that says, "They said they'd got 3 crons"?
No. Actually, the only reason I know that song, it has nothing to do with caroling. It's because I love the Bare Naked Ladies holiday album.
Oh,
They have a version of it on there.
I mean, that's pretty legit. Bare Naked Ladies are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they start singing Christmas carols. Not that I'm bitter or anything.
So that song, it is quite divisive, as historians believe that song is actually about corpse transport.
Oh.
So
Yeah. How do you feel now, Tom?
Oh,
Talking about
Udo,
transporting
I have a
corpses.
plan.
what's that?
We have to go wassailing Tim. Yeah. Yeah, Tim, we're going to show up and sing Christmas carols at you.
I
and
am
you
armed.
either
Until
fist fight us or give us beer.
Yep.
I will fist fight you at the drop
All
of a
you
hat
gotta do is
if you show up on my
cheer with
doorstep
us.
singing.
I'll even
If you show up and be like, "Hey Tim, we're here. Give me a beer," I'll be like, "Sweet, awesome, let's have a beer." If you show up singing, I will run you over with my car.
Holy shit.
I bet
Special episode of Mass Hysteria at Tim's house.
right?
We'll sing the entire time.
if we show up, Walt will let us in.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's go
Right?
wassailing Tim.
What? Why? Why did I let Udo know where I live?
This is such a good idea.
All right, everybody. For those of you who are new to the show, join us next time, and we find out how many of us survive the wassailing adventure.
One.
Here we come, a wassailing up to Tim's house.
No longer recording.
All right, I have just taken us off
God.
air. That is a great way to end that episode.
Yeah. I unironically want to go wassail Tim.
Right?
And fucking sing some beer out of you.
Right? We need you to make us some crisp apple whipped beer.
Come on, give me some nog.
Right?
I will do whatever I need to do to keep you from singing at me.
And so the system works.
Exactly.
Oh.
I think that's like the point of wassailing.
I cannot explain this well enough. I can't stand karaoke. I can't stand anything where someone is who's not a trained singer is singing.
I
don't
mean, I am
really-
a trained
I'm not a-
singer.
I'm not a huge fan of going to live music shows.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm choir
Just feed me
student
beer
of the
and I'll
year
shut up.
2 years running.
But
I have
Tim, if it
perfect
makes you feel any better, I am
relative pitch.
legitimately a trained singer.
I have perfect relative pitch, and you can't sing for shit when you're not trying.
Oh yeah, when I'm not trying it, like I don't.
Right.
Yeah,
Fingernails on a chalkboard, man. Fingernails on a
fair
chalkboard.
enough.
I'm the greatest singer.
You are not.
I am a fantastic singer.
I have heard you sing. You are not.
I'm a great singer. Choir student of the
Tim,
year,
you're
2 years
over-
running.
I'm not a good singer.
It's
That's
because
why I don't sing.
it's because you don't have good pitch.
Okay.
You got Dunning-Kruger pitch. Your pitch is so bad that you think it's good,
I never said my
Oh
pitch was good.
God.
right? Angry Cicada says I'm great at singing, and that you are a
Yeah,
turd.
She's not allowed to have an opinion.
Which she's the one who has to listen to him sing more than anyone else in the world.
That sucks for her.
But it also makes her uniquely qualified to judge Udo's singing.
Yeah, but she's never going to tell the truth on this forum.
Right? You
Yes,
know
she
what?
will.
So that actually worked out really well. The multi-stream here worked super well. Currently, right now, we have 4 people watching on Facebook, 1 person watching on YouTube, 0 people watching on DLive, and 7 people watching on Twitch. I
Yeah.
don't get a number of people that are watching on Periscope. It doesn't give me any information there. But if you're on Periscope and I have been ignoring you, I apologize. But thanks for watching. All right, and with that, I think that's the end of the episode, guys.
Yeah.
We can all hit stop on our recording.
All right.
Doing it.
Done. Remember
Done.
to save the second file. Very important.
Yep.
Let's see here.
All right.
Wait a minute. Oh, no.
What'd you do?
Hold on. All right, hold on. I gotta check something. So, what that means for everybody who doesn't know what the... Okay, it is possible to fix. We got
Chester666, thank you for that subscription.
Oh yeah, Chester,
Sick.
thank you very much for that. I appreciate the hell out of that. Let's see, I'm saving project data here. I hit save instead of save as, and it did. I was worried that I just overwrote the first half. But I think I managed to fix that. Control Z is fucking magic.
Yeah, I was worried about that happening as well. So when we did part B, I
Mhm.
closed Audacity completely and opened it up again, so I knew that I was going to be on a new project.
That is what I didn't do.
Yeah.
And that is what I was
Okay.
worried about.
So did it fuck it up?
Hold on just a second, I'm checking.
We'll find out.
Okay.
Sounds about right. Yep. All right. Okay, so we can head into... Yeah, it technically did do that, but I was able to recover both of it.
Okay, that's good.
And I'm able to... I'm going to save an additional file backup, so cool.
Cool.
All right, let's see. Well... Okay, so I guess that's one thing that we can't do easily anymore, is we can't really raid. One, there's no such thing as a raid on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I think I can manually raid on Twitch here. I wonder, actually, I want to find out if the pardon me, if the restream bot can do any of this. Let's find out. We're gonna find out.
I'll allow it.
I gotta open up and find a channel though. Find somebody who needs it. Chatta was running earlier. Yep, Chatta's doing it, and he's playing a new game called GTFO, and it looks really good. So we're gonna go say hi to Chatta. It's been quite a long time. I actually renewed my sub to Chatta today. It was my 2-year anniversary of fucking subbing to Chatta. It
Ooh.
was pretty cool. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to go raid there and see if this works. I don't know if I hit Restream IO. Did it work? We'll find out. I don't know if it works. If it didn't, I'll just do it manually over here. Yeah, it looks like... Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah, totally worked. Just
Nice.
gotta... Okay, it's gonna go... Looks like it's gonna be ready to go in 1 second. All right, Twitch. You guys are out of here. All right, I've sent Twitch on their way, and to everybody else, good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.